The call came at 3 in the morning. Reports said strange sounds had been heard around an old factory on the outskirts of the city. Daniel, a police officer with 14 years of experience, was very tired, but an order is an order. Driving his car along the darkening streets, something irritated him inside. That morning, a divorce petition from his wife had arrived, and he tried to keep himself composed. The darkness around the factory was very deep. The large gate creaked open. Daniel turned on his flashlight and stepped inside. "Who is there?" he said, raising his voice. No answer came, but something wrestled under the metal walkway. Daniel drew his weapon. Unexpectedly, he saw a person running out of nowhere and was startled. The person was naked, with injured arms and legs. He didn't even get a chance to shout, "Help me!" From behind, a second person aimed a gun at Daniel. "You didn't see," said the second one in a cold voice. Everything happened in an instant. Daniel misjudged. Afraid, he thought the person in front of him was the suspect and accidentally shot. In reality, it was the victim. At that moment, a blow was heard on Daniel's temple. Warm blood washed over his face. He was killed, and the noises of the factory slowly sank into the darkness. As Daniel's spirit fell into the black void, only one voice echoed in his ears. "Your mistake awaits you again." When he woke up, he felt strange. He was not alone, different, a new body or something else. He could not tell. But now he was Dylan, a firefighter. Over the years, he became the bravest in his profession. He would enter fires without fear. But one day, a massive fire broke out in the city's tallest business center, 27th floor. Visibility was almost impossible in the smoke. As Dylan breathed, he felt a strange panic cover his heart. He entered a room where the ceiling was burning and falling, and saw a lifeless body lying on the floor, preparing to move to the next floor. He tried to pass through a small hole near the wall, but that hole, before his eyes, the dark corridor of the factory from his first life flickered into view. There, he had misjudged and shot someone. This time, his inner voice said, "Be careful, this person is not alive, just a load." Instead of carrying the body out of the fire, he bypassed that side to save time. But that person was alive. At that moment, the ceiling completely collapsed. Dylan remained in the fire. The smoke burned his eyes. The body slowly loosened, and he realized one truth. I have taken someone's life through negligence again. Instead of his soul rising from the fire, it sank into the cold void. Mistakes know how to return. He was born this time among the intelligent, sharp-minded ones. His name was Kevin, a liar famous for defending even the richest criminals. Kevin was rising in his profession, but inside him lived an unnatural emptiness, as if something was slowly returning to him. One day a new client was brought to him, a young man accused of murder. "I'm innocent," the young man said, trembling. But Kevin knew he was guilty. He had seen those lies across several lifetimes before, filled with panic, pleading, and a silent scream. Mistakes from Kevin's previous lives resurfaced. Instead of saving this young man, he chose to work against him, because the boy couldn't pay much. "You are guilty," Kevin said coldly. "I will not defend you." That night, as he was leaving his office, someone stabbed him from the shadows. As he fell, the young man's eyes flashed alive inside his mind. "I told you I was innocent. Why didn't you help me?" As Kevin collapsed again into that familiar emptiness, he heard the voice echo inside him. "The life you refuse to save will not save you." He became a skyman this time. His name was Carter. Since childhood, he had loved airplanes. Over the years, he became a pilot flying the largest international flights. But before every flight, there was a strange uneasiness inside him, as if invisible pipes, hollow corridors, screams in the smoke were chasing him. One evening, during the landing of a large airliner with 240 passengers, a strong storm began. The plane shook, and lightning lit up the windows. Carter felt as if he were flying inside thunder among the clouds. "Captain, we need to adjust the course a little to the right," his co-pilot said. But Carter remembered the biggest mistake of his life as a liar. Even though a young man was innocent, he had not saved him. And now, 240 lives were in front of him. Time was very short. He had to decide. But that strange voice echoed again. If you don't decide, life will decide for them. Carter hesitated for a moment. In that moment, the storm struck the plane violently. He tried to regain control, but it was too late. Suddenly, a massive lightning bolt hit the plane's wing. The plane crashed to the ground. Carter closed his eyes, and he took all those lives with him. As his soul sank into darkness, only one truth remained. You cannot escape the past. He awoke this time to the strangest life. A quiet, calm, even excessively peaceful life. His name, Adam, a chef who had opened a small but warmly lit restaurant. His hands created miracles. Every ingredient beneath his knife, every scent rising from the pot, the silent harmony of flavors, all of it seemed to make him forget, even for a moment, the tragedies of his past lives. But deep in his heart, there was a truth he never told anyone. He believed he did not deserve peace. One day, the restaurant door burst open with a loud crack. A man walked in, trembling steps, heavy breath pressing on his chest, burn marks across his face. His clothes carried the smell of smoke, and his eyes. The moment Adam saw those eyes, his heart froze, because those eyes were mirrors of his past, the ones he failed to save, the mistakes he never forgave himself for, the sins he tried so hard to forget, all gathered in one place. I need your help, the man said, his voice breaking. Adam couldn't hide the trembling in his hands. It felt as if someone inside him whispered for the last time, if you help him, you will burn again. But this time, he did not want to run from himself. He cooked food. He washed the man's wounds. As his fingers touched the scars of the past, something inside him seemed to snap loose. When he helped him put on clean clothes, the man's hands brushed his, cold, filled with fear, but alive. At that moment, a sudden shanda from the gas tank. The kitchen began to fill with the smell of gas. A heavy silence dropped like stone. Only the muffled beating of a heart could be heard. Adam closed his eyes. This scene again. This explosion again. You will die again. And in that instant something ignited. Not fear, but resolve. He grabbed the man tightly and dragged him outside. Voices, whispers, the screams inside him. None of them mattered. Outside, the man fell to the ground. But he was alive. Adam looked back. His restaurant, the only peaceful place he had built and poured his heart into, was burning. This time I won't run, he whispered. He went back inside. The smell of gas grew thicker. Flames clung to the ceiling, flaring brightly, and the explosion erupted. As the fire wrapped around him, Adam, strangely enough, felt no fear. He looked at the burning tables, the blackened walls, the small restaurant where he had placed all his hopes, and he smiled softly. This time, I didn't leave anyone behind. Through the smoke, as time slowly faded, for the first time he heard not that dark voice, but a bright, calm sound that washed away all his exhaustion. This time you overcame the mistake. A voice that rose above the fire, the smoke, the pain, and finally, Adam found peace.